Okay, this is a video I wish I didn't have to make, but sometimes you have to make these kind of videos. I'm not gonna set up my green screen, I'm not gonna turn on the lights, just gonna make the video. Alright. Hey Nato, the anti-ABC mob have now shifted much of their targeted attacks against Dedalniks, that's Amaury Sachet, towards George Donnelly, who is the PR guy for Bitcoin ABC. This indicates he has been an effective spokesperson for Bitcoin ABC with the capacity to dismantle false narratives promoted by this mob. Keep up the good work. So there's a claim here that there exists some sort of anti-ABC mob. Trolls or people who don't like ABC for some reason, not anti-ABC for any good reason, they're just a mob. I'd like to take a look at whether that's the case. So let's look at a thread someone posted. Vin Armati's video, thoughts on the coming Bitcoin Cash fork, which is, the video is worth its own response video in and of itself, but I'd like to just focus for this video on the comments in the threads here. A good place to start will be this comment from, I don't know how to pronounce your name. He says, I'm late to the party, so I'll hijack the top comment for visibility. Also, disclaimer, I contribute to BCHN, that's Bitcoin Cash Node. Bitcoin Cash Node plans to remove the poison pill in November 2020. The effects of this will be seen in May 21. Bitcoin Cash Node will not diverge from ABC on the sole basis of removing the poison pill. Mr. Armani is basing his arguments on conclusions that are technically incorrect. George Donnelly asks, seems like a pretty reasonable question, so what's the point of removing the automatic replay protection then, precisely? And the reply is, the development pace can be relaxed from the 6-month schedule, because right now we're forced to fork, to upgrade whatever every 6 months, and it's a strict schedule. It has to happen at those 6 months. And then George Donnelly says, so Bitcoin Cash Node is in favor of relaxing Bitcoin Cash development? What? Is this a joke? George Donnelly has either misinterpreted or blatantly spun his use of the word relaxed to mean like less development, because obviously, what, is this a joke? We don't need less development. But it's pretty obvious if you take more than a split second to think about it, what he actually means by the word relax. Means not strictly on the 6-month schedule. It would have been all right if he said, by relax, do you mean less development? And then he can say, no, I mean the schedule needs to be relaxed because things can actually happen sooner, and then things that shouldn't be rushed can happen later. But instead, he jumps straight to highlighting the word relaxing and then asking, what, is this a joke? That's not productive discourse. It's unreasonable, trolly bullshit. Just relax the schedule. With honest process, some urgent features could be phased in when they're ready. Edit, i.e. ASAP, for example. You best ask the author, though. Then we get a response from Killer Cola. What's the main reason for relaxing, as you put it, the schedule? Because doing the 6-month upgrade seems like a lot of work, and it probably is, but you want to slow it down so we can lose ground to other cryptocurrencies? All I get from this relaxation of the schedule is that will be less work done. From where did you get that? The comment that you're actually replying to said, some urgent features could be phased in when they're ready, so more work could be done. Colin Enstead replies, every 6 months, every node has to update. This includes exchanges, businesses, wallets, etc. Now, that's not necessarily true for wallets, but he might mean just like nodes that serve wallets, I don't know. Every 6 months, they must be aware of this. Due to this, just about every hard fork upgrade we have done, there have been some services that have gone down for hours at a time. Literally no one is saying the developers should relax. This is a giant straw man gleaned from a single word. The same amount of development could get done if, say, a yearly schedule was put out. Perhaps even more, because less time would be focused on making sure the forks go well every 6 months. Pretty reasonable. Is it a straw man if it has the potential for slowing down development? I don't think it is. It has the potential where the work doesn't get done regardless of whether you think it will or won't. It enables people to become lazy. I mean, where does he get that? It could do that, and it could also make it way better. So far, all he's done is a fantastic example of concern trolling. But what if it enables people to get lazy? Well, we don't think that's the case. And if you think it will definitely be the case, then you need to argue why. Instead, you're just saying, like, it just has the potential but you don't. It's not backed up by anything. That's a baseless, unsubstantiated claim. Relaxing the schedule. This has to be a joke. Kirkula again. Yes, I have. I don't agree that it should be relaxed. This just sends the signal that BCHN need more time to do required changes. Why can't these changes still be done at 6-month intervals? This just sends a signal that BCHN needs more time to do required changes. No, it doesn't. Another response. Twillborn. That's unprofessional of them, though. Great businesses have deadlines so they can deliver the product on time. Except that we're arguing that we can actually do things faster. And George Donnelly even keeps going. Progress is already glacially slow, and you guys want to slow it down further? What? I'm sorry? This sarcastic... He's totally speechless. What? Except that this has been explained to him already. What the whole point is. And all they keep doing is repeating the same talking points over and over. You're slowing down development. No, actually, we think this will not only be better overall for stability and businesses, but it actually could speed up development. What? You're slowing down development? Of course, and M-Tri-CZ, trying to be reasonable. You're a smart person, so I find your questions strange. Again, I believe the idea is to phase in changes when they're ready, not at a fixed 6-month schedule. This does not mean slower, per se. Again, inquire Free Trader if you want further details, as I'm only a contributor and wasn't around at the time of writing. But that's the correct response. You're saying we want to slow it down further, and I'm saying, no, that's definitely not what it means for sure, definitely, and it's almost definitely not. And then George is like, I can't fit the word relaxed into the goals I want to achieve with Bitcoin Cash. So you really have me at a loss here. Okay, well then forget the word relaxed. He has already explained that he's saying, get rid of the 6-month schedule. Any serious business or project sets deadlines and apportions resources towards a goal, and then it enforces the deadlines. Again, we could just as easily argue that these so-called deadlines are actually slowing things down. Your proposal to wait until presumably or underfunded developers are ready just blows my mind. That's a recipe for endless delays, less urgency, and for the death of Bitcoin Cash. What? Presumably or underfunded? Actually, multiple node implementations ran fundraisers early this year via Flipstarter and detailed exactly how much money they estimated they would need to do the things they want to do. But this comes out of nowhere. It's a recipe for endless delays, less urgency, and for the death of Bitcoin Cash. I mean, can you be any more sensational? No, I don't follow your line of thought at all. If he just can't wrap his mind around the idea that relax is maybe not the best choice of words, but it has meaning that was implied that he could actually, with a little bit of effort, realize what he meant. Again, relaxing the schedule doesn't mean less work is done. I think this is the point we disagree on. For example, I'd like to see DA improvement phased in as soon as it's ready, not necessarily November. All right, so this is my comment. I appreciate Vince's desire to have a conversation, but he doesn't ever seem to actually say anything. What exactly is his point? And to really get into the meat of this comment, I'd have to respond to Vince's whole video. But I don't really have to here because response from Energy369 says, the point is that BCHN is going to fork off during the next planned upgrade because they don't like ABC and want full control of the BCH network, just like CSW tried to do in 2018. I mean, how is that not blatantly obvious astroturfy trolling bullshit? But just respond, if that's his point, he's way off base because it seems to me like ABC is the one that wants full control of the network. And so far, the behavior of ABC has been much closer to CSW and the SV camp than Bitcoin Cash node's behavior. He says, what, just like he was off base when CSW said there will be no split and then went ahead and split the chain? Was he off base then? BCH is saying there will be no split, and yet they prepare for a split. Talk is cheap, and their actions are telling me that they are preparing for a split. So, as far as the just like when he was off base when he said, being right about something before does not make him right now. Now, you can totally say that because he was right before, we should take the time to consider Vin's arguments because he has a track record of being correct. That is valid, but it does not actually support their argument. And like I said, there is no evidence of Bitcoin Cash node preparing for a split. They've made it clear from the beginning that their goal is to avoid a split. Energy 369. They were threatening a fork in May, so I don't buy the fact that they are trying to avoid a split. I think they're preparing for a fork that they will cause and then put the blame on ABC. That's how I see it playing out. They were threatening a fork in May. That's just not true. They didn't include the IFB code, but the software would have followed the longest chain. So if the rest of the network enforced the IFP, Bitcoin Cash nodes would have followed. Honestly, the only critique I have so far of Bitcoin Cash node is that the name is just a little confusing. That's the worst I can say about them. Of course, here, responding to my comment, seems like ABC wants full control of the network, and so far ABC has been much closer to CSW, saying, but that's your subjective standard. The minority in the fork is the one that split off, just like BSV. ABC has far more ecosystem support than BCHN, so they will be the minority if they fork off. I mean, this is just a totally fucking nonsense comment. What are you even saying? But that's your subjective standard. My subjective standard for what? ABC has been closer to CSW? I mean, sure, that's a subjective assessment, I guess. But then they go right into saying the minority in the fork is the one that split off. ABC has more ecosystem support than BCHN, so they will be the minority if they fork off? What are you even talking about? What is your measure for ecosystem support? This strikes me as just blatantly obvious, astroturfy, repeat your talking points bullshit. Someone else responds to the whole going to fork off during the next planned upgrade. And it's like, where do you get this bullshit? And Energy369 says, I get my bullshit from BCHN devs. This allows an update date to be canceled or postponed without unnecessarily requiring a software update for non-upgraded nodes. The planned new behavior of BCHN is consistent with the current behavior of all node software other than ABC. So that's apparently supposed to support his claim that BCHN is going to fork off during the next upgrade. But this in no way implies that they're going to fork off in the next upgrade. All it is saying that by removing the poison pill, updates can be canceled or postponed. They can be. But if they follow the same consensus rules post a fork, they will be on the same chain, regardless of whether the poison pill thing happened or not. And people really love to latch onto this with all the behavior other than ABC. Oh, so they're forking away from ABC. But then does that mean that Bitcoin Verde is also forking away from ABC? And BCHD is also forking away from ABC? Because it's what they seem to be implying. The answer is obviously not. The Bitcoin Cash node is kind of pretty clearly here saying, ABC is the weird one. We're just sort of coming in line with what we think is both reasonable and is also what everyone but ABC is doing. So, okay, reminder, someone quotes Twitter post from BCHN. The BCHN team seeks to collaborate with other teams in sound decision-making, maximizing the chances for Bitcoin Cash to stay united and work towards increasing resilience and adoption, goals shared by all of us. So, okay, that's a statement from Bitcoin Cash and at least saying that they don't want to fork. Now, I mean, a statement is only worth so much, but there it is, okay? And then Energy369, here we go again. With the whole, let me mirror the format of your comment. Reminder, the planned new behavior of BCHN is consistent with the current behavior of all node software other than ABC. Bitcoin Cash node is planning a fork, just like CSW and his goons. Just fucking great, guys. BCHN devs, why not fork other coins and leave BCH alone? We've already covered this, but the idea that quote in any way implies that BCHN is planning a fork is total fucking bullshit. But if you repeat enough, there are people that are not going to know the difference. So Sancho Paza, is it making shit up time now? Which, like, let's not drop to their level of sarcasm. But again, just spews more bullshit. BCHN is actually just like CSW. They talk about how there'll be no split and all that jazz, but in the background they are preparing and pushing for a split. Talking point, talking point, talking point. Ignore talking point. Ignore talking point. Talking point, talking point, talking point. Where's the anti-ABC mob? Mob 2. I don't like the idea of the fork. If there is indeed a fork coming, then it begs the question if Bitcoin ABC is the common denominator. As Vin said, and I agree, that Bitcoin Cash used to be united. The BSV fork may have been an accident, which I don't think so, but if such conflicts happen regularly in BCH, then I have to consider seriously what some BSV people had told me before, which is that Bitcoin ABC is the cause of the conflicts. I think what is more helpful would be for Bitcoin ABC and BCHN to collaborate. However, given the friction, I'm not sure how that is going to work out. In order to collaborate, both parties must be willing and flexible enough to work together. Given my observations, this seems unlikely to me. George Donnelly. Just throwing all the blame to one party is hardly a constructive tactic. Okay, well, throwing blame unproductively is unproductive, but if there's blame to be placed, it's productive to assign it accurately. So there's not much else you can say to that comment. Now Mob 2 responds, my opinion is based on my observations. I can elaborate further what these observations are. Bitcoin ABC's conflict with former Bitcoin Cash people, now in BSV. Bitcoin ABC's conflict with Bitcoin.com. Bitcoin ABC's conflict with Bitcoin Unlimited. Bitcoin ABC's conflict with Bitcoin Cash Node. Bitcoin ABC's conflict with some major Bitcoin Cash supporters. So, I mean, he's just pointing out there are lots of issues here, and ABC is the common denominator. And he's not even explicitly claiming ABC is the problem. He's even just saying, like, that's like reason to consider the possibility that ABC is the cause of the conflicts. Let's be brutally honest here. At what point do we acknowledge all these and start saying there is a problem? OJJ or OJ Jordan 78 chimes in. To be more specific, it seems that Amaury Sachet, who has personal conflict with everyone who doesn't agree with him, even something trivial like the color of the logo, for fuck's sake, he refuses to cooperate or compromise, even with some people who used to work with him at ABC. I think the guy has a big ego problem and lack of communication with everyone. Example, the IFP drama. He went completely silent when a lot of key people in the community asked him for explanation. All right, George Donnelly, you are drawing conclusions about someone from 300 miles away. What personal dealings have you had with Amaury Sachet? You have absolutely no basis from which to reach these conclusions and are likely repeating other people's opinions. So him being far away means that he can't draw an opinion on somebody? Not having had personal dealings with someone means it's impossible to draw conclusions? No, that's just not the case. Now, if you want to say because of those things we should be skeptical of your conclusions, then okay, sure, be skeptical of them. But those things in and of themselves do not discredit the conclusion. He says, I have disagreed with Amaury without conflict resulting. I have seen him cooperate and compromise more than I would have. I mean, great. It's a great personal anecdote. How does it help us? It doesn't. It doesn't at all. It gets us nowhere. No one is perfect. Everyone has room for improvement. But you turning third-hand gossip into a public condemnation of the guy who started BCH and has kept the network going the whole time is absolutely shameful and embarrassing. The guy who started BCH. So it was just Amaury. No one else, just Amaury. Pretty sure that's not the case. You could argue he was like the main driving force, but also you could argue he wasn't. The guy who started BCH and has kept the network going. Oh, just single-handedly, he kept the network going. Shameful and embarrassing? These constant hard forks are terrible. We really should get rid of the 6-month hard fork schedule so that there isn't the question of split or no split every 6 months again. Which, I mean, it's kind of whatever. Anytime there's an upgrade, there's potential for a split. And what the upgrade schedule does is it just kind of forces both people to upgrade as opposed to just one of them upgrading and the other not upgrading. But the response from George Donnelly doesn't actually even address any of that bullshit. He says, the upgrade schedule does not carry with it the risk of a split. The risk is being imposed by others. So he's just taking this as an opportunity to scream, oh, some other people are very, very likely to cause a split. The upgrade schedule is necessary to ensure we make progress on the roadmap such that Bitcoin Cash remains competitive. It's also been debunked, or at least challenged and not responded to. The upgrade schedule is causing problems and may even slow down development. But that's not relevant to George Donnelly, because George Donnelly's goal is apparently just to repeat bullshit talking points and to be unreasonable. Twillborn. Vin is right. I see the same anti-ABC propaganda coming from the BCHN side that came from the SV side leading up to the hash war. Where's this talking point coming from, I wonder? Don't get me wrong, I think BCHN team can make some valuable contributions to Bitcoin Cash, but I hate all their let's overthrow ABC political baggage. What let's overthrow ABC political baggage? Please link me to the let's overthrow ABC political baggage that you're talking about. Because so far, I have only seen a reaction to ABC being unreasonable. BCHN has simply provided a reasonable alternative. And this is apparently unacceptable to people who support ABC. I recommend this for the BCHN team. Like Vince said, if you intend to split, then be straightforward about it. If not, then seek to build a good relationship with the ABC team. They either intend to split, and so they should be straightforward about it, or if they don't, then they need to seek to build a good relationship, as if they haven't already tried. Now, I can hear some screams reply back, ABC intends to split off, not us. Not really, that's not what anyone's shouting at all. Oh yeah, exactly what the SV folks were saying at the time. Even if that is what the FC folks were saying at the time, and even if that is what BCHN people were saying, the fact that it's the same thing as what SV folks were saying is not evidence for anything. It's just drawing parallels between someone you don't like and someone everyone doesn't like. Do you know how you tell? Whoever doesn't end up with the ticker symbol and the majority network effect is in fact the one who split off. I mean, you can define it that way if you want, but it's pretty useless. The one who gets the ticker symbol is the one who didn't split off. I mean, okay, fine, great, but what usefulness is that definition, and why are you bringing it up now? There's no context for that. Why are you screaming these talking points at us when it's not relevant to anything anyone's talking about? Chains Or says, the BCH team has consistently said that they want to cooperate, not cause splits. You must mean some that claim to be BCHN supporters. BCHN. The planned behavior of BCHN is consistent with the current behavior all nodes have for other than ABC. Again, this is it's practically copy and pasted. It might even be copy and pasted. I don't know. It's just the same talking point that Energy 369 is everywhere possible. BCHN is obviously trying to fork because of this statement that in no way implies they're going to fork. Of course, Chainsaw responds reasonably. So why have we not seen forks from that earlier? None of the other nodes have forked off from not having the poison pill. That's the reasonable response. What are you talking about? The other nodes don't have it and they haven't forked off. Someone else just explained it to me. The poison pill just makes sure whoever runs ABC and for now BCHN node must upgrade in order to stay in the chain. Other nodes that do not have the poison pill will not fork off if they are not upgraded unless there is a new consensus rule in the upgrade. Thank you for BCHN for destroying BCH. This is the kind of overdramatic, unsubstantiated bullshit that I'm really tired of. Me too, Chainsaw. No, I'm not on a specific team. I'm just really tired of bullshit. Me too, Chainsaw. Right, there will be no split. Just like there was no split in November 2018. Oh, got him! They seek to build a good relationship with the ABC team. Pox saying, they've already tried. It's ABC that's refusing. Tilborn, quoting himself or someone else above. Oh yeah, exactly what the SC folks were saying at the time. You know to tell? Whoever doesn't end up with the ticker symbol in the majority network are the one that split off. You said they've already tried. It's ABC that's refusing. Like I said, Pox, after the split, it will be clear who is the one refusing. No, not at all. Apparently, Bitcoin Cash was the one that was refusing to cooperate with the Bitcoin Core developers when we split off. But that's obviously not the case. It was the Bitcoin Core developers that had drawn a hard line that was ridiculous and unreasonable, and we were forced to fork off into a coin with a different ticker. So this argument invalidates BCH's claim, not anything about the current situation. So, Poxed links, Omri stated himself. Here, Omri is saying, Bitcoin Cash node has now released a vulnerability in the wild that affect BCC and many other Bitcoin D-derived coins. This is clearly not in line with best practices in terms of security. In fact, it is somewhat careless. But Nilak responds, Step 1, refuse disclosure relationship with BCHN. Step 2, merge in obviously buggy code from core because it's core and ABC religiously merges all their code. Step 3, release vulnerable node software to your users. And step 4, rather than learn from your mistakes and correct steps 1 through 3, blame others. He says, do your job. Don't merge broken code from core. Dead Alnix, Omri says, disclosing information about vulnerabilities requires vetting the parties involved. Not doing so is how you end up with a vulnerability in the wild. When establishing such a relationship, we look at how vulnerabilities were handled in the past. We had no such data for BCHN at the time. Now that we do, it confirms that the decision was a correct one. Okay, so apparently, they tried to establish a disclosure relationship. It was refused. And then after it being refused, the way that Bitcoin Cash node handled disclosure proved to them, confirmed to them that they made the right choice because it wasn't disclosed. And it's not like the Grim is being particularly effective here, which is unfortunate because it makes it harder to tell, right? If Nilak were being perfectly in line, just pointing out exactly where Omri is being unreasonable and why it's the case, then it wouldn't be so hard. But with him saying, like, do your job next time and quit blaming others for being a crappy engineer, you could, if you don't know, you could easily just say, oh, Omri seems like he's being reasonable and Nilak's the one being a dick here. Of course, Toolborn, what? That BCHN had bad security practices? What that have to do with what you were saying? It says, my only claim was that Bitcoin Cash node has tried in the past to cooperate with ABC, and that ABC refused with no data to base their decision off of. Omri admitted that in the link I provided. Feel free to read it again. Free Sid says, Sigh, not this shit again. I wished BCHN all the best, even though I fully supported the IFP. I didn't expect their first major contribution will be a fork. Sheep gonna sheep, I guess. This just looks exactly like our Bitcoin troll sock puppet astroturf bullshit. BCHN better get their shit together and not create a fork. If this happens, they will destroy BCH. So is there an anti-ABC mob? I don't see one. Is there an anti-BCHN mob?